What is up? What is up? As always, I gotta check my social the medias, making sure we good on all our sounds. Pardon me for 2 seconds. YouTube, great. Let's go to X. X, where you at? X. Where my dogs at? All right, that's good. And finally, as always, the book. Where I gotta change the privacy settings so people can see me. All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? What? If you in here, let me get a. Oh, we got the bang 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 bang. Matter of fact, I might have. Nah, I ain't gonna do that to y'all. I ain't gonna do that to y'all. Should I put the other camera on? Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I might have to put this other one on. Nah, we be alright. We be alright. We rocking with this one. As always, share the live. Share the live. It's your boy Geechee A. Smith, the Geechster. Victory Tuesday. As you can see, the games that are going to be popping up for the week. We don't get into it. But as first, foremost, let's get to this countdown. What's up? What's up? Welcome to Professional Fan Sports and Entertainment, Episode 2, Week 2, NFL 2, Fantasy Picks. We went 12-4 on our picks last week. Let's give it up for us. Week 1, 12-4. Usually Week 1 is pretty hot butter garbage for us. However, 12-4 is not bad. And if Joe Burrow and the Bengals would have showed up, it should have been at least 13-3. But we'll get into that. I don't know what happened to that team. I thought they were supposed to be good. However, the Bengals are notorious slow starters, so we can't be too bad at it, right? As always, we want to have our top 3 fantasy picks and our top 3 fantasy sits. All of our fantasy picks did well except for Ingram. I should have known to pick anything to do with the Trevor. I've been telling y'all, yeah, the Trevor is the trash. However, I thought at least Ingram was going to get a touchdown or something like that. Um, yeah, it's whatever. Y'all didn't trust me on that Kelsey pick. I told y'all to sit Kelsey. And hopefully you sat Kelsey because Kelsey didn't do much. I knew the Ravens were going to shut him down, and I knew Xavier Worthy was going to do well. Excuse me. Rasheed Rice as well. I knew I was going to rely on the wide receivers because the old way of um, just letting Kelsey pick on people are tired of that. So that's been slowing down. So that's why the Chiefs offensively last year weren't doing as well because they didn't have real wide receivers. Now they have real wide receivers. So you can shut down Kelsey, but it's going to be hard to shut down the rest of those weapons. And Isaiah Pacheco runs like he's on parole with a warrant on his second strike, about to catch his third. Isaiah Pacheco is an angry runner. This dude, what did he do? Threw up, came back in the game, had it all over this. Like, yeah, he's built different. You know who else is built different? Jordan Mason. I told y'all about Jordan Mason as well. I knew he was going to do well. I had a feeling CMC wasn't going to play. It's week 1. It was the Jets. Sorry, Jets. I didn't think it was going to be close. A lot of the other 49er content creators thought it was going to be close. I personally did not. I don't know why. I don't know. Call me a homer, call me cocky. I just didn't think it was going to go well. Aaron Rodgers statistically just does not do well against our defensive style. He does not like people hitting him, and he gets out of sync and things like that. I assumed they were going to get their touchdowns. I assumed they were going to get their scores. Um, but other than that, 49ers look like the 49ers. And here's the thing, they're not even completely healthy. That's what's scary. The 49ers aren't even healthy. 100%. And then we're going to get back Huff, D. Winters. I don't like Campbell out there, linebacker. He's a liability in the passing game. Um, we get Huff back, potentially, hopefully Winters, um, YTG on the edge. Leonard already paying off. What was that? 20 pass rush attempts, and he had what, 4 pressures and a sack. Already paying off. It's week 1. This team looks pretty good, and you could tell they're playing like a team that really, really wants it this year. Um, so we're excited for that. But first and foremost, let me remove this because we gotta get our fantasy picks before we start with that. Let's start with the fantasy starts. Start with the fantasy starts. First fantasy start. We got Josh Allen. Josh Allen, for obvious reasons, he's probably the number one fantasy statistic player in the last couple of years. Um, and he's gone up against the Dolphins, who he statistically does very well against, last 3, 4 times at least. I know last year he did very well. Um, and they just, sometimes people in your league are just little bro, and Josh Allen always little bros the Dolphins. So I think Josh Allen's going to do well against that Dolphins defense. I'm not scared of that Dolphins defense, and Josh Allen is who Josh Allen is. Next up, I'm gonna give you a sleeper. Probably should have gave you this last week, but I'm gonna give you it this week. Uh, J.K. Dobbins. We're talking about the Chargers. Um, Anytime there's a hardball team, there's going to be a lot of running involved. Running backs are traditionally going to get the ball a lot. So J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards is going to be off and on. I think this is the Dobbins week, particularly against the Panthers. The Panthers are hot butter garbage. So they're just going to run down their throats, and I see a lot. And Jim Harbaugh is a big troll. So let's just say J.K. Dobbins is hot. Jim Harbaugh is going to try to break a record. He's not going to ease up. He's not going to like take his foot off the gas. Kind of like the Saints did a little bit. Jim Harbaugh is going to run the score up. He's going to get you mad, and he's going to get his guys padded points and stats and things like that. So I just think he's just going to run all over the Panthers and Justin Herbert. Jim Harbaugh has a real quarterback. Um, for the first time in a very long time. So yeah, I like J.K. Dobbins. And then last but not least, Cup. Cup is always a safe fantasy bet. Always a good safe fantasy bet, but especially against the Cardinals. The Rams always have the Cardinals number, and the Cardinals defense is trash. Josh Allen and team just put up a bunch of yards and points up against this Cardinals team. and I don't think the Bills' offense as a whole is better than the Rams. I think the Rams' offense as a whole is better, and Cup is going to get his yard, especially with Puka Nakua being out. Yeah, there might be a little bit more pressure on Cup, but Cup is always going to get his. He's too sound in his route running to be shut down. As long as he's healthy, he's getting his. So we going with that. So fantasy starts, just to go back through them, just in case you missed it, you showed up late or whatever. We got Yash Allen against the Dolphins, J.K. Dobbins against the Panthers, Cooper Cup against the Cardinals. All right. So that's what we got for our fantasy starts. Now, fantasy sits. Who we sitting? Who's sitting the bench right now? Take a sip of water, because this is what these dudes gonna be doing. They're gonna be getting that water. So I'll give you a foreshadowing of what they're gonna be doing on the bench, your fantasy bench. Ironically, this was my number one start last week, but he is my sit this week. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud. And CJ Stroud, they're playing the Bears. So what? Don't matter. Actually, no. The Bears have a pretty good defense. Bears have a pretty solid defense, and I think they're going to give a lot of disguises that's going to frustrate CJ Stroud. Now he's going to get his. However, the Bears create a lot of turnovers on that defense. So uh, be prepared to for him. Yeah, he might have 200 something yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, but he may have an interception or two or a fumble. Um, I could see that Bears defense giving a young quarterback like CJ fits. He was a little tentative last week. It's week one. It's rust. I get it. So I I look. You know, I look this. I would say sit him for this week. If that's your main quarterback, try to get somebody else. If you don't have anybody else, and CJ Stroud is your main quarterback, your fantasy team is trash. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. If CJ Stroud is your only quarterback, you did something totally wrong if that's your only quarterback. Um, and if this person next is your only quarterback, you did something completely wrong. Joe Burrow. Now, the Bengals are notorious slow starters, and it doesn't surprise me that he didn't do well against the Patriots, because Gerard Mayo was a Bill Belichick disciple, so they're gonna pick your weaknesses, pick on them, and things of that nature. And like I said, the Bengals are notorious slow starters, so I'm not surprised that he didn't do well. But I'm surprised they lost, though. We're talking about um, Vegas had the Patriots like one of the teams to not get a win. Like they were like, you know what, Patriots might be the last team to get a win this year. Um, Shame on you guys who took that bet. I wasn't taking that bet. Brand new coach, brand new system, nah, absolutely not. I would have picked the Panthers if y'all want to pick a nice little inside bet for y'all. Anybody looking? A little closer. I would go with the Panthers, probably being the last team to win a game. I'm going with the Panthers. Panthers, because coaching matters as well. It hasn't is talent, but yeah, coaching also matters, and they don't have any of it. They don't have talent or coaching. But Joe Burrow, the reason I'm sitting him, oh, he always beats Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, then did you just hear me say they're slow starters? And this is probably one of the better Chiefs defenses I've seen. And for them to have an amazing offense and amazing defense, it kind of reminds me of the 49ers of the AFC. However, the 49ers don't have Patrick Mahomes or Chandy Reed. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think I think Joe Burrow is going to struggle against Spag. He's the master of what he does. I'm surprised he doesn't have a head coaching gig unless he turned him down this past offseason. But some people are just better coordinators. Sometimes you just want an head coach of that side of the ball. Someone you could just, here, take it, it's yours, and I trust you with it. And Spags is one of those people, and he's doing very well with that defense. And they're solid. They were what, top three fantasy team last year, secretly on defense. And last but not least, a sit, Kenneth Walker the third, Seattle Seahawks. Um, and because he's going up against the Patriots, I believe, once again, Mayo being a disciple of Belichick is going to take away what you love to do. And they love to run the ball, especially with Kenneth Walker. Oh, excuse me. I think, and he's not 100% healthy. So take that into consideration. He's also questionable. So with those things in mind, keep that in the back of your mind. I would sit him for this week only. Just week only against the Patriots at home. That's weird to say because last year they were struggling to win games. However, sometimes coaching matters. It really does. So, once again, for your sits, we're going to go with CJ Stroud because I just think the Bears are going to give him fits. It's an NFC team. We're going to go with Joe Burrow against the Chiefs. Sit that man, sit that man, sit that man. Kenneth Walker against the Patriots. All right. So, those are the picks. And while y'all here, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel, Bear Image Media. Bear Image Media. You see the logo. What is that over here? Right there. Is that John right there? Right there. Yeah. Subscribe to that on YouTube. Hit the bell so you get all notifications because not only do we do Tuesday night picks, fantasy sits, we're gonna start doing some film breakdown. I got the all 22. We're gonna do some film breakdown. We're gonna do some looky, rookie lucky. We're gonna look at some rookie quarterbacks week to week. The first week we're gonna look at Caleb Williams. He won the poll. I have a poll up on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter /X. I'm on YouTube. Streaming on all three of those at the same time. So, Bear Image Media on YouTube, Facebook. If you know me in real life, that's where I'm at in Facebook. You know my name. You know who I am. And then Twitter, we got 49ers East Coast. We represent the whole East Coast for the 49ers. If you want anything merch wise, we got links in the description for any type of, not any, I ain't gonna say any because I ain't gonna sit up here and capture you, but we got discounts. You know what I mean? We got discounts um, for all those. These are legit shops through Fanatics, so you know it's legit apparel. That's where I got this shirt from. 49ers. I got one that was coming today, but it ain't here yet. I was gonna rock that joint with this hat too. This is, of course, is a Niners hat. Let me see. Turn to the side. Yeah, it's a Niners hat. So always everything's bang bang Niners gang. It's always red. It's always, yeah, whatever. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, which I really came here for, the money, right? It's the weekly picks. Let's get into it. I'm gonna bring my co-host into it, and my co-host for today is Bleacher Report. A My man Bleacher Report. Trusty Bleacher Report. So, you know how this goes. We look at it. Sometimes while we're doing these things, they'll switch it up on us, right? Um, so even the first one they switched up on us, it was a little bit different. So I'm gonna just change that real quick. And like I said, I do this a couple hours prior, so it's not like I'm in whatever. I mean, it just came out. Monday Night Football was yesterday, so there. So I'm gonna change that one. But I still like who I like, even though it might have changed a tad bit. First up, we got the Bills and the Dolphins. I already gave the hint of what I'm leaning towards and what I potentially like. Um, the Bills, at least the last two, have owned the Dolphins. Let's go through this real quick. Let's see if it goes back. Is it gonna go back? No. Let me see. Yes. Let me see. Nah, it ain't gonna do it. Whatever. I was just gonna see if it's gonna show me some older ones, just so I can show y'all real time. However, Bills they just own the Dolphins. I don't know why. I don't. She swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll die. But yeah, I just they got Dolphins 2.5. I'm not sure why. It's kind of a head scratcher for me. Kind of like when they gave the Cowboys points against the Browns. It's like sometimes things are traps. Um, but at 2.5, that's crazy to me. I don't know because, like I stated, they've had their number for the last couple years. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I know the Dolphins are healthier and their offense is doing well, but Tua is still. I don't believe in Tua. I really don't. He's good, but yeah. I'm I don't know. I'm going with the Bills plus 2.5. I like them straight up. So y'all better grab that before they realize that's a typo. Like I would jump on it, kind of like I told y'all with the Cowboys game. If y'all didn't jump on that, that was free money, completely free money. And the fact that y'all giving the Bills points, that is more free money. Um, Now these are suggestions. I got to do my little disclaimer. Don't advice and legal whatever. Like these are suggestions. I'm not whatever. Y'all lose money, that's on y'all. But if y'all win money, hit me off. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta hit me with no money. Just come into my comments and be like, thank you for the picks. I made a couple dollars. Last year tens of thousands of dollars were won. Tens of thousands of dollars for people that get. I don't. Once again, like that. I don't. I put a bet here and there, but I don't gamble like that. But for people that do, I got a few friends that are professional gamblers, and they listen to these picks. This is why I mainly do it for, and why I started it for. They were like, "Man, you making me money. See if you can make other people money." I'm like, "Why not? I love football. I love talking about sports anyway. Why not? I don't really do this for money or trying to be famous or anything like that. I do this for y'all, really, to be honest with y'all, because people ask about my fantasy picks all the time. People ask about what I think about on certain players. This is within my personal spirit, because obviously, if you don't know me, you don't know me, right? But within my personal spirit, people always ask me about my picks, my fantasy, and then also to break down film because I do a little coaching as well on football. Um, so this is why I do that. Do that for these people so they can break it down, they can see it and go back and things of that nature. And even if you don't pick how I pick, they'll utilize some of the strategies and the thinking behind why I pick what I picked. Right. So I'm doing the research for y'all. I'm doing all that. Best y'all can do is just share the live, like, subscribe. That's it. I don't ask for nothing more. And comment, let me know that y'all made some money off of these picks. That's all. But we going with I like the Bills. I don't know. Lock that in now. I would lock that in immediate. That's why I do it on Tuesday too, because lock it in before they realize they made a mistake. Um, we're gonna lock that in. Next up, we got the Browns and the Yags or the Trevors. Um, I understand that the Browns didn't do too well against the Cowboys, but I think people forget that the Cowboys have a pretty solid defense and have a pretty solid defensive game plan. It's week one. Deshaun Watson is rusty. He needs to loosen up. Maybe he need a massage. Um, but yeah, I'm not expecting the Browns to be world champions or to go far into the playoffs, but I'm expecting them to win about 9 games, 10 at the most. I think they're going to be a pretty solid, okay playoff team, as long as their offense can get it together because their defense starts off well, but their offense doesn't help their defense out. So the defense eventually gets tired. Um, and the Jacksonville Trevors, I thought they were going to be better. They looked horrendous, to be honest with you. I know I give the Trevor a lot of slack. Um, I thought he was going to look better, to be honest with you. He looked horrible. And the Dolphins defense is not that great. He just looked horrible. He made bad decisions because he's the Trevor. He's the most overrated number one pick I've ever seen in my life. They coddle this man. They give this man money for what? He's won nothing. His turnover ratio is crazy trash. He's hot buttered garbage. But I digress. And with that said, that's the reason I'm actually picking the Browns. I like them to win straight out. Y'all gonna give the Browns points against the Trevors? By all means, appreciate it. That might be some easy money too, right there. If you ask me. If you ask me. Next up, we got the 49ers and the Vikings. And this is a trick. This could be a trap game. This could be a trap game because the 49ers statistically and historically do not do well in Minnesota. Why? I have no idea. They just don't statistically do well on the road in Minnesota. I know previously is because Favre was there. And then, Randy Moss and, Vikings have had pretty good teams. Even when Thuggins was there. Um, just struggle with the Vikings. Um, this isn't your father's Vikings team, though. This is Sam Darnold's Vikings team. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. I'm not glitching. It's Sam Darnold. So that's, the same Sam Darnold that was on the 49ers. You think they don't know his tendencies? You don't think they're going to pick him apart and know he hates pressure? Sam Darnold is going to probably throw maybe 2 interceptions, 2 turnovers. I'm gonna say 2 turnovers. It could be a combination of interception and a fumble, 2 fumbles, or 2 interceptions. He's gonna have 2 turnovers against the 49ers. Guarantee. And one of those is probably a strip sack or pressure into an interception because he's just that's what I see. Um, I get it. They're at home, skull, whatever that means. Isn't that like chewing tobacco? But yeah, I don't have a lot of faith. I think Sam Darnold's a serviceable quarterback, a good plug and play until JJ McCarthy becomes healthy again to be Sam Darnold 2.0. So I think they'll win about 8, 9 games. I think they're going to take the Packers position. Well, I take that back because Jordan Love may only miss about 4 to 6 games. Depending on what they do in those 4 to 6 games, depends on where they will seed with the packing. So Packers and the Vikings, I think they're gonna, do one of those things. That's because of specifically uh, Sam Darnold and Jordan Love going down. So with all that rant to say, as always, bang bang, Niners gang. Are you spitting me? Always, and especially against the Vikings, 6 points. I think the Vikings are a worse team than the Jets. I think Jets are a better team than the Vikings. And you see what we did to the Jets. Jets, 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 Jets. Next up, we got the Bucks and Lions. We got the Bucking Lions. Now that one's at 7. It was at 6. Now it's at 7. And I'm not sure why. What happened that it increased? Let me just see real quick. Give me 2 seconds because I'm not understanding that one. That might be a trap for y'all too. Don't believe it. Don't you believe it. We do real time fact checks. We do real time stuff. Cause I'm just trying to see what made it move. Who's out that might have maybe somebody got ruled out or something like that. No, I'm not seeing anything that I didn't see before. Okay, I just a little quick check. That's it though. I do my research, bro. I do my research. But when I first did this, they were only giving the Bucks 6 points. Now they're giving them a whole touchdown. They giving them boys a whole touchdown now. Baker Mayfield was damn near perfect last week. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. Let me know what that's real quick. Now I know it was against the Commanders. So bear with me. However, it's still an NFL team. Y'all still we have to remember that. These are NFL teams. Right. Right there is crazy. 146.4. That's crazy. And the reason being is because they ran the ball pretty well. Let's look at time of possession. They control the clock. Total yards. Look at that. I know they're playing Jaden Daniels, so on and so forth. They're balanced. They were balanced. Total plays 61. So that's what I wanted to show you. To say I'm not 100% sure why they're 7 points. I'm not sure. I get it as the lines. However, they still have Jared Goff as their quarterback. I love Gibbs. Gibbs is always a start. But they still have Jared Goff. If we're being honest, but they have Jared Goff. Um, I'm going with the Bucks with the +7. I think the Lions win. Now, I don't think the Lions are going to lose, but I don't think they're going to beat them by more than a touchdown. It might be a push. I would stay away from this game, to be honest with you, as far as that. But if you want to go straight outright wins, get the Lions. If you want the points, go for the Bucks. Go for the Bucks. You could tell Vegas did not like losing a lot last week because they put some astronomical spreads this week. All right. Next up, we got the Yargers and the Yanthers. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on this because we already discussed that the Panthers are hot butter garbage, and the Chargers have a real quarterback. Bryce Young isn't a real quarterback. The Chargers have a real coach. Panthers do not. The Chargers have picks in the first round in the next year or so. The Panthers do not. The Panthers have no hope because their owner is Dave Tepper. And Tepperware is trash. He's probably the worst owner in the league. Hot butter garbage. He doesn't care about winning. He only cares about profit. Um, he can have an empty stadium and still make profit. So he has no incentive of paying anybody real money or getting anything real. Drives me nuts when that happens. Sorry about that. But anyway, Dave Tepper. Um, yeah, hot butter garbage. I'm so mad that just threw my train of thought off. Not spending a lot of time on that, but like the Chargers. 6.5 points over the Panthers. Next up, if you're coming back in because of stupid live, I like the Chargers over the Panthers. Hold on, let me make sure it jump back on the social medias as well. Yeah, we still good. All right, I just want to make sure we were still good. All right, so Charger the Panthers. Next up, we got the Colts and the Packers. Now, once again, I said Jordan Love is out, so this changes the dynamics of this game because it probably would have been three the other way if Jordan Love was still in this game. Anthony Richardson, he's okay. I might put him into the quarterback rookie looks because we didn't really get a chance to look at him. He only had a few games. So we might look at him as well because until you have a full 16 games, he's still a rookie to me. Um, but yeah, I don't think. Yeah, with Malik Willis, he's trash, hot butter garbage. So I think the Colts are going to do well against the Packers. So I like that three. I would pick the Colts on that. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that one. I would pick the Colts for that one. That's a good safe bet. Next up, Giants and Commanders battle of the hot butter garbage NFC least. Um, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time with that. Daniel Jones is probably the worst quarterback in the history of Giantum. Not really, but he's trash. He's supreme hot butter. He's trash truck juice. Jimmy Garoppolo used to be the trash truck juice of the NFL. Now it's probably Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is now the trash truck juice. Right at the bottom, that stuff that's like putrid and like fluorescent green and stuff like that. That is Daniel Jones's football career eventually, but that's also his game currently. I like that 1.5 the Commanders. I like what they did with Jaden Daniels. I think they're going to do a little bit more, open up the offense a little bit more. They were playing it safe with 16 runs. They still took care of the ball very well. So we're going to go with the Commanders because the Giants are probably in the basement of the NFC besides the Panthers. Next up, Jets and the Titans. I think the Jets are a solid team. Um, I don't think the Titans are. I just think the Jets just had the unfortunate problem of running into the 49ers. That was the problem. That's sorry to hear that, Jets. Um, but yeah, so I think they're still going to be a pretty solid team, a good playoff team. I like that 3.5. I think they're going to give it to the Titans. Sorry that y'all have to go up against an angry Aaron Rodgers, who would usually do well, but we're going with the Jets 3.5. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time with that one. Next up, this is an interesting one from a spread standpoint. Because it was at 10, but now it's at 9.5. Yeah, like that's crazy. Um, that's crazy. Now it's at 9.5, so we're gonna adjust it just accordingly. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time with that. Raiders don't look promising. Gardner Minshew is one of those um quarterbacks that just he's 50-50. He's on, he looks amazing, and then he just blows it and just doesn't do as well. Um, yeah, I think the Ravens upset team, battling for that supremacy of the AFC. They're going to manhandle those Raiders. I just don't think it's going to be by 10 points though. So I think the Raiders the points, but I like the Ravens to win. So Raiders, I ain't gonna disrespect the Raiders that much, but I would go with the Ravens to win if you're picking that. But if you're going with the points, go with the Raiders. That is my suggestion. Next up, we got the Saints and the Cowboys. Saints put up buku numbers on the Panthers, as they should. The Panthers are hot butter garbage. I don't think the Saints are that good, but the Saints are serviceable. Derek Carr will eventually show who he really is, and I think it will be against the Cowboys. Pardon me. But the Saints do have a solid defense. Um, and Dak struggles with teams that have solid defenses. He didn't do bad last week. He didn't do particularly well either. But I think the Saints are a better team than the Browns are currently. So I know they blew out the Browns by like 16, 17 points, whatever that was. The Saints aren't the Browns. I like the Saints with the 6.5. However, I think the boys win. The boys win. The boys win. All right. So if you're picking the winner, go with the boys. You're picking the points, go with the Saints. All right. Next up, Seahawks and the Pats playing in New England. So this Patriot defense just gave Joey Burrow and that team fits. I think Geno Smith and them are going to struggle a little bit with them as well. I'm not going to spend a lot of time analyzing this and breaking this down, but I like the Patriots. I think they're going to win straight up. Personally, I personally think they're going to win straight up against the Seahawks. It's about matchups sometimes, people. Patriots might surprise y'all this year. They just might. I don't think they're gonna be good, but they might surprise a few teams. They're new. It's a new defense, so on and so forth. Well, with the Patriots, Rams and Cardinals. This one's another head scratcher. Another head scratcher because kind of like the Bills always own the Dolphins, the Rams own the Cardinals, and I get it. The Rams don't have the same pieces, but they just took a very good Detroit NFC Championship team to the wire, and the Cardinals are not good. They haven't been for years. I don't like their coach. I don't like their quarterback. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is just going to be running around for no reason like he did last week, wide open. They could have actually beat the Bills. He was wide open. Kyler Murray couldn't see him. What happens when your quarterback's 5'8"? Like he's bound not to see people. Um, and I don't think that they're going to see the Rams in this game either. I like the Rams to win straight up. The fact that they're giving them points is just icing on the cake. To be honest with you. All right. Last four slated games, the big games, the big boys. We got the Bengals versus the Chiefs. Bengals just struggle with the Patriots. I think the Chiefs, like I said, Spags got something for Joey Burrow and the rest of that squad. I know he plays better against the Chiefs because he wants to be Patty Mahomes and beat them. I know Patrick in the back of his mind knows, oh man, the Bengals always beats me. I'm not playing with these guys this year because we need that number one seed so we can go to Kansas City. So I think they're going to manhandle the Bengals because, like I said, they're slow starters, and this is just ain't going to do nothing but give the Chiefs more fuel for them to go 15-2, be the number one seed, and make it back to the Super Bowl again. That might be low key. My Super Bowl prediction is the Chiefs back in there. I guess the 49ers rematch, number three. Third time's the charm, I guess. Kyle Shanahan, banana hands. But I'm going with the Chiefs to handle the Bengals. Next up, we got the Steelers and the Broncos. Hot butter garbage game of the week. Hot butter garbage game of the week. This was at 3, but now it's at 2.5. I Justin Fields is probably starting again against Bo Nix. Battle of mediocrity. Sean Payton still hasn't done anything since Drew Brees. He's an overrated quarterback, I personally think. Um, and Mike Tomlin is a way better coach than he is. We're going with Tomlin and the Steelers outright against the Broncos. Next up, Bears and the Texans. So they give Caleb Williams a Sunday night game in front of the lights. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud going to come out and try too hard. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to come out and try too hard. I still think they even moved the line a little bit because the Bears' offense is still trash. Their offensive line is still trash. They're not doing Caleb Williams any good with that offensive line. I don't care if you're Tom Brady. If you have the offensive line, that you're just not going to go well for you, right? And then the offensive coordinator still calling these mediocre bubblegum plays, and it's early in the year. So I think the Texans handle the Bears, and still think the CJ Stroud sits because this looks like a Joe Mixon game. Joe Mixon in, you know what I'm saying? All right. Last but not least, we got the battle of the birds of prey. We got the Eagles and the Falcons. Kirk Thuggins versus Jalen Hurts. And the way, if y'all were watching any of that Falcons game, it looked like Kirk is Hurts. And it should be Jalen Thuggins. Kirk still can't press off of that Achilles. He is not driving that ball well. He does not look good. I don't know. I get it. You got to pay this man all this money and so on and so forth. I would have had Michael Penix Jr. in and ready to go because he looks like he's going to be the real deal. Get this man some reps. Kirk, it's over for him. Coming back from Achilles heel, that old is just not the same. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He ain't popping ayahuasca and shooting heroin and doing methamphetamines like Aaron Rodgers is. Kirk Thuggins, you got to do it the old-fashioned way. You don't look like you have the same work ethic as Aaron Rodgers in that regard. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's going to be close. Yeah, I think the Beagles are going to handle the Falcons pretty single-handedly. Pretty single-handedly. All right. So those were the picks. Let's go through the picks again and the fantasy sits. Just so y'all can understand who we were because where we were, just because it did go out for 2 seconds. All right, it was a light week this week. These are pretty easy. So the fantasy starts. Fantasy starts. We're going with Josh Allen. Like I said, against the Dolphins, statistically he does well. J.K. Dobbins against the hot butter garbage Panthers. Enough said. And then Cooper Cup against the Cards. Say that 9 times fast. I like Cooper Cup against the Cards. Rams do well statistically against the Cardinals. Cooper Cup does well statistically against anyone, as long as he's healthy. And then our fantasy sits. CJ Strizzle, even though I think they're going to whizzle against the Bizzles, but I think that's going to be more of Joe Mizzle, if you can dig what I'm sizzle. Okay? Sit that man. Joe Burrow, sit that man. I wish I would have sat that man last week. I should have sat that man. Sit that man against the Chiefs. Kenneth Walker, sit that man against the Patriots. He's also not 100% healthy. I don't like when running backs are not 100% healthy because then you have a CMC situation. And the fact that people might have had Christian McCaffrey and it was Monday, it was nothing you can do. Everybody already played. And if you were somebody like me, I locked in Jordan Mason in the draft because I knew Christian McCaffrey wasn't healthy. And I understood that having Jordan Mason, at least for the first 4 or 5 games, potentially, and now maybe even for the season, because Achilles tendonitis, that thing can flare up anytime. He's old by running back standards. So it could be it might not bode well for that man. So yeah, but Kenneth Walker's hurt. Sit that man. And then weekly picks. We like the Bills against the Dolphins, getting 2 points. Don't know why. We like the Browns against the Jags, 3 points. I know why. Bang bang Niner gang against Sam Darnold. Enough said. We like the Bucks with the points. Put some respect on their name on the offense. Defense still a little left to be desired, but put some respect on their name. +7. Lions win, but +7. Watch out for those Bucks. Chargers get the hot butter garbage Panthers. Colts against the Jordan List Love Packers. Commanders against hot butter Jimmy Juice Garoppolo truck juice bottom fluorescent nuclear goo Daniel Jones. Jets over the Titans. Ravens. Oh, that says minus. No. Plus. Ravens plus 9.5, but I like the Ravens to win. I mean Raiders plus 9.5, but I like the Ravens to win. I like that. I'm gonna put some respect on our name in that regard. Saints, I like that 6.5, but I like the boys to win. I like the 6.5 for the Saints, but I like the boys to win. Patriots, I think they're gonna be the Seahawks outright. My personal opinion. Don't attack me. Don't beat me up. Don't call me a hater because they in our division. I just don't think they're that good. I don't think the Patriots are that good either, but I think they're gonna beat them. I don't know why the Rams are getting points. Once again, it's kind of like the Bills situation or the Cowboys last week. Maybe they know something I don't, but until then, Rams cards. I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Bengals pretty well. I like the Steelers over the Broncos. I like the Texans to manhandle the Bears. I like the Eagles to do the same. And as always, those are your picks. Let me know how you feel about those. Like and down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. As always, share to YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, all those good things. Now, I decided to keep it short on purpose because I know a lot of y'all want to go out of here and watch that debate. Um, and if y'all want my opinion and who I'm voting for, I think y'all should